What's up, Celtics Nation? If you're a true Boston fan, buckle up because the offseason drama is already heating up and it's looking like we might be in for a wild ride. The green and white are standing at a crossroads and one of the most iconic names in recent Celtics history could be packing his bags. That's right, I'm talking about none other than Al Horford. Now let's break this down. Before Jason Tatum's devastating Achilles injury, the Celtics were already staring down some big-time roster questions. The team's payroll has ballooned way over the NBA's second tax apron, which puts serious limitations on what they can do this summer. Something's got to give. Whether it's trades, letting players walk, or reshuffling the depth chart, changes are inevitable. And when you look at the names potentially on the chopping block, Horford stands out, not because he's underperformed, but because the situation around him has completely shifted. Let's not forget who Al Horford is to this franchise. The man's been a Celtic for 7 seasons. 7. That's not just a veteran presence, that's a core piece of this team's identity. He's been through wars in the playoffs, been a calming voice in the locker room, and continued to contribute on the court even as he's pushed into his late 30s. He's not just a role player, he's a symbol of his Celtics era. But the hard truth is, Horford is going to be 39 this summer. And while his game has aged better than most, there's only so much gas left in the tank. Now with Tatum possibly out for a huge chunk of next season, or longer, the Celtics' outlook takes a hit. The dream of competing for a title right away becomes a lot more complicated. And if the front office starts to feel that a championship window is closing or temporarily paused, the motivation to re-sign a nearly 40-year-old big man might not be there. It's not about what Horford brings, it's about the timeline, the money, and the reality of the roster. Enter the rumors. ESPN's Tim Bontemps lit a fire under Celtics fans when he dropped his thoughts on Horford's future during the Hoop Collective. And let's just say, it's not exactly encouraging for those hoping to see Big Al retire in green. According to Bontemps, the odds of Horford returning to Boston are slimmer than they've been in a long time. He even suggested that the idea of Horford coming back might not make much sense anymore, given the state of the franchise and the challenges ahead. But here's where things get really interesting. Bontemps didn't just cast doubt on a return, he pointed to a very specific alternative, a new home, a rival city, the New York Knicks. Yeah, you heard that right. The Knicks are emerging as a serious contender for Horford's services. And it's not just about basketball fit. It's about relationships, history, and opportunity. Horford has a long-standing friendship with Karl Anthony Towns, and they've played together for years on the Dominican national team. That bond is real, and if the Knicks pull off a trade to bring Cat to the Big Apple this summer, as many believe they will, it opens the door wide open for Horford to follow. Think about it. New York is trending up. They're building something serious, and a guy like Horford could be the perfect veteran addition. He'd bring leadership, playoff experience, and that classic low-maintenance, high-IQ style that meshes well with stars. And let's be honest, if Horford is chasing one more real shot at a ring before he calls it a career, New York might offer a better shot in the short term than a Tatumless Boston. Now, this wouldn't be the first time Horford left the Celtics in free agency. Let's rewind to 2019. That summer, Horford shocked a lot of people when he left Boston to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. And even though that move didn't quite work out the way anyone expected, it showed us that Horford isn't afraid to make bold decisions. He's a professional, he's calculated, and he knows how to weigh his options. Loyalty matters, but opportunity might matter more. And if you're a Celtics fan, this isn't the first time the Knicks have swooped in to snatch up Boston's former talent. Go back to 2021 when both Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier made the move from Beantown to the Big Apple. The Knicks love to pick up ex-Celtics. And if they can land a veteran like Horford to mentor a locker room filled with young energy and rising stars, you better believe they'll go for it. But here's the thing, it's not just about New York. Horford could easily have other suitors. He's the kind of player every contending team would love to have coming off the bench or even starting in key matchups. He's calm under pressure, he spaces the floor, he defends intelligently, and most importantly, he knows how to win. And those guys don't grow on trees. Still, the Knicks have a unique advantage. They offer both a personal connection and a basketball situation. That makes sense. If they go all in this summer and actually manage to bring in Towns, a move for Horford could follow almost naturally. It would reunite two longtime teammates and friends, give New York a serious veteran presence in the front court, and send a message to the rest of the league that the Knicks are not playing around. So for Celtics fans hoping Horford rides off into the sunset in green and white, the situation just got a lot more tense. Nothing's official yet, and Boston could still make a compelling case to bring him back for one last dance. But the writing might already be on the wall. And if you ask me, the idea of Al Horford wearing a Knicks jersey, that's the kind of off-season drama that makes the NBA so unpredictable and so addictive. Now let's dive a little deeper into what Horford's potential departure actually means for the Boston Celtics. Not just on the court, but in the locker room, in the culture, and for the fans. Al Horford isn't just a guy who puts up stats. He's been the soul of his team's maturity and professionalism. He brought poise in chaotic moments, direction when the young stars were still figuring themselves out, and a level of consistency that is rare in today's league. Without him, Boston would be losing more than a veteran big man. They'd be losing the glue guy, the unspoken leader, the guy who never made headlines for the wrong reasons but always made the right plays. His value doesn't show up on box scores alone. He's the guy who sets the tone in practice, who mentors younger players, who keeps egos in check, and helps a team become more than just a collection of talent. And let's not forget how unique his skill set still is, even at his age. He's one of the few bigs in the league who can switch onto guards without getting cooked, who can stretch the floor with his shooting, and who can pass out of the high post with the vision of a point guard. There's a reason the Celtics leaned on him in so many crucial playoff games over the past few years. There's a reason why when the chips were down, it was Horford out there making the smart rotation, the clutch rebound, the hockey assist. That led to the open three. Now imagine removing that from a roster that might already be teetering on the edge, with Jason Tatum's future uncertain after his Achilles injury. And let's be honest, those types of injuries don't just go away overnight. The Celtics may be forced to shift from a win-now mentality to a more patient approach. And that shift could lead to even more movement. Because once you accept that the championship window might be temporarily closed, it becomes easier to let go of pieces that once felt untouchable. Brad Stevens and the Celtics front office will have to weigh all of that. Do you keep Horford around purely for his leadership and locker room value, knowing that your on-court goals might not be realistic in the short term? Or do you respectfully move on, give him a chance to compete for a title elsewhere, and start reshaping your roster with an eye on the future? These are tough questions with no perfect answers. Meanwhile, in New York, the opportunity seems ripe. The Knicks are coming off a season where they showed real grit, a deep roster, and a hunger to win. Adding a veteran like Horford isn't just about having a backup center, it's about raising the floor of the entire team. He'd bring instant credibility to their locker room. He'd help young bigs like Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein develop even further, and he'd provide the kind of on-court awareness that elevates a team in close playoff games. Plus, we can't ignore the appeal of the spotlight. Madison Square Garden, playoff intensity, national television every night. Horford may be a quiet guy, but he's not immune to the magnitude of legacy. Winning a title in New York, of all places, would be historic. It would add a final chapter to his career that not many players get to write. And it would prove that even in the twilight of his time in the league, he's still capable of making a difference where it matters most. And let's talk about the Celtics fans for a second. Boston is one of the most passionate, loyal, and intense basketball cities in the world. Watching Horford walk away again, possibly to a rival franchise, would sting. This is a guy who bought into the Celtics culture not once, but twice. He left, came back, and gave everything he had again. If this is truly the end of the Horford era in Boston, it deserves respect, admiration, and appreciation from every corner of Celtics Nation. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NBA rumor mill is in overdrive, with whispers emerging that could reshape the entire league landscape. The Boston Celtics are reportedly on the verge of pulling off a blockbuster double acquisition, bringing in none other than Kevin Durant and Zach LaVine. While no official confirmations have surfaced, multiple sources close to the situation suggest that talks are heating up and that both deals are inching closer to reality as the trade deadline looms. If finalized, these moves would instantly catapult the Celtics to super team status, giving them an offensive arsenal few could match. The idea of Durant, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, teaming up with Zach LaVine, a dynamic all-star guard known for his explosive athleticism, has set social media ablaze and left fans dreaming of what could be one of the most formidable lineups ever assembled. The potential of seeing Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, and Zach LaVine all wearing the iconic green jersey is sending shockwaves throughout the league. Questions are swirling about how head coach Joe Mazzulla would balance such a concentration of star power, manage egos, and adjust the team's rotation, which already boasts a well-established and cohesive core. Insiders suggest that Boston's front office is willing to make significant sacrifices, including parting with key rotation players and future draft picks to make these deals happen. Recent financial maneuvers by the Celtics, such as clearing cap space and restructuring contracts, only fuel speculation that the organization is positioning itself for something monumental. For now, it remains a tantalizing possibility, but where there's smoke, there's often fire. The prospect of Durant, a two-time NBA champion and former MVP, alongside LaVine, an elite scorer and dunk contest legend, joining forces in Boston is nothing short of seismic. Could the Celtics be on the brink of assembling the next great NBA dynasty? The answer may come sooner than expected, but until then, the excitement, anticipation, and wild speculation will continue to dominate the headlines. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.